They say moms can't have it all, a career, a family, and peace. But here in my little kitchen in Alabama, I'm proving them wrong. My name is Jennifer Collins. I'm 21 years old, and I live in a small town in Alabama with my husband, Richard, and our 2-year-old son, Eli. Richard works long hours as a mechanic. He leaves the house around 6:30 in the morning and doesn't come back until after sunset. Some days I barely see him before I fall asleep. He's a good man, hardworking, but most of the household load, well, it's on me. My days look a little crazy. I juggle 3 jobs at home. I'm a freelance bookkeeper for 2 small local businesses. I run a little online shop on Etsy, and of course, I'm a full-time mom. Between invoices, diapers, and dinner, it often feels like I'm living 3 lives at once. But you know what? Over time, I learned to find my rhythm. I still cook dinner every night. I still save money each month. And somehow I managed to breathe. It wasn't always like this. In the beginning, everything was a mess. When I first started working from home, I thought I could do it all. I imagined myself typing on my laptop while my baby napped peacefully beside me, laundry drying in the background, and maybe a pot of soup simmering on the stove. That dream lasted about 2 days. Reality hit hard. Eli would wake up crying just when I started a client call. The laundry piled up, the soup burned, and my inbox exploded with unread emails. There were moments when I'd be stirring the soup with one hand and replying to client emails with the other, while Eli screamed because he couldn't find his favorite toy truck. I remember one afternoon, I was on a Zoom call with a client from Texas trying to sound professional, but Eli was climbing on the table behind me, laughing and waving his little hands at the camera. I wanted to sink through the floor. By evening, when Richard came home exhausted, I felt angry. At him, at myself, at everything. I'd hand him the baby and lock myself in the bathroom just to have 5 minutes of silence. Sometimes I'd cry quietly, wondering if I had made a mistake trying to do too much. I was living on caffeine and guilt. Caffeine to keep going, guilt for not doing enough. The worst day came on a Tuesday. That morning, Eli was sick and clingy. I had 3 deadlines to meet and an Etsy order to ship. In my rush, I forgot to send an important client report. By evening, when I checked my messages, I saw it. A 1-star review from a customer who never received her order. Right below that, an email from my client. Jennifer, this delay has caused us a real problem. We may need to reconsider working together. I just stared at the screen. My stomach twisted. My hands were shaking. I walked to the kitchen, saw the dishes piled high, toys scattered everywhere, and I just broke. I sat down on the floor holding Eli's little blanket and cried. I cried for the lost client, for the chaos, for feeling like a failure as both a mom and a worker. I realized something had to change. I couldn't keep running like this, half done, half present, half alive. The next morning, I decided to start over. Not with some big miracle plan, but with a notebook. I opened a clean page and wrote at the top, "Where does my time really go?" For a week, I tracked everything. Every diaper change, every email, every meal I cooked, every scroll on my phone. By Friday, I saw the truth. I wasn't lacking time. I was lacking focus. I was constantly switching between tasks, reacting instead of planning. So I made myself a promise. No more chaos. No more running blind. I would learn to manage my home like a business, with structure, but also with heart. I created a rule I call my 3-block system. Morning block, deep work, bookkeeping and client tasks. Midday block, family, meals, playtime, household chores. Afternoon block, side hustle, my Etsy shop, inventory, packaging. Nothing overlaps. If I'm cooking lunch, I'm not answering client messages. If I'm working, I don't do laundry. At first, it felt strange, even rigid. But after a few days, I started noticing something. My brain was calmer. I wasn't always rushing. I actually finished things. And surprisingly, I had more energy left at night. Once my schedule felt steady, I tackled another stress point: our budget. Before, I would run to the grocery store almost every other day. I'd grab just a few things and end up spending $60 each time. Now I make a weekly meal plan every Sunday. I check sales on the grocery app, compare prices, and order online for pickup. No impulse buys. No dragging Eli through the aisles. I started saving almost $100 a month just from being organized. And that money went straight into our emergency fund. One of my proudest moments was when Richard's truck broke down last winter and we were able to pay for the repair in cash. No credit card, no panic. That day, he looked at me and said, "Jen, I don't know how you do it all." And I smiled because for the first time I felt like I really could. Next, I learned the power of letting go. I used to think I had to do everything myself to be a good wife and mom, but that's a trap. Now, I automate our bill payments and budget tracking. I use an app that sends alerts before due dates and even splits expenses into categories for me. I also hired a local college student, just 2 hours every Friday, to help mow the lawn and tidy up the yard. It cost me $25, but it saves me hours and so much stress. I realized sometimes spending a little can save a lot of time, of peace, of sanity. One of the hardest lessons was giving myself permission to rest. For so long, I felt guilty every time I sat down without doing something productive. Even watching a show made me feel lazy. But then I noticed, when I don't rest, I become irritable, distracted, and disconnected. So now, I schedule 1 hour every evening, after Eli goes to bed, for me. Sometimes I read. Sometimes I just sit with a cup of tea and listen to the crickets outside. That hour is sacred. It reminds me that I'm more than just a mother or a worker. I'm still Jennifer. It's been almost a year since I started this system. I won't lie, some days still feel like a circus. Eli still throws tantrums. Clients still send last-minute requests. The laundry never ends, but I'm different now. I'm calmer, more focused, more confident. My business is stable. My online shop has loyal customers, and our family savings have grown steadily. More importantly, I have time to watch Eli learn new words, to laugh with Richard over dinner, to feel proud instead of overwhelmed. Life isn't perfect, but it's balanced, and that's more than enough for me. If you're listening to this and you're a mom trying to do it all, I want you to know this. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything at once. You just need a plan, a rhythm that works for you, your home, and your peace. Some days will still be messy. Some days you'll cry, and that's okay. Because balance isn't about control, it's about grace. It's about showing up, doing your best, and forgiving yourself when things fall apart. If you ever doubt yourself, remember this. You're building something powerful, a home, a future, and a version of yourself that learns, adapts, and thrives. And if a 21-year-old mom from Alabama can figure out how to juggle 3 jobs, so can you. If my story made you see a little bit of yourself, a mom who's working, caring for her family, and still trying to find balance, hit like so I know you're walking this journey too. Type balance in the comments if you're on the same path. Let's share, support, and grow together every day. And don't forget to subscribe to Smart Family Finance, where I share real stories about how we work, live, and love a little smarter every day.